is at an extreme right, and so we did see it, and we're getting pretty close.
We're about 9 miles away in Yakuta Bay.
And we'll try and we are inside, so at some point later after we see the glacier, maybe we'll do a quick little room tour. We are inside our room in our pajamas, but that's not really the reason you're not seeing our faces, is that it's still raining some, and since we're inside out a window, if I move this back and forth, it can focus on a raindrop and therefore not give you the outside view. So this is going to be going on for a couple of hours. I think possibly at least until at least 2 hours, possibly a little bit longer. We'll hear the naturalist in our room, Naturalist Nat, and she is fantastic. We've been going to her talks, and I just wish she was our naturalist the entire time. She is the true definition of a whale nerd.
She is, very much so.
Oh, that's our phone. It's probably because we have the do not disturb on. We actually ordered breakfast because literally this room has been so awesome. We have this big giant window. It is cut in half, so I was a little annoyed by that, but now it's fortunate because the bottom half of the window has very few drops of rain, whereas the top part of the window has a lot, which is also why we aren't just switching back and forth. And so because again, if I could do that and it probably would hold on, but this window is big. These mountains, I'll see if I can do this. I may regret it. You can see the raindrops a little bit more when I have it a certain way. So just like in the other live nature streams we did on Holland America, and I think we're going the opposite way first. We'll see. So you may not see the glacier for quite a while. The glacier, Hubbard Glacier, is 7 miles?
9 miles.
9 miles across.
No, 7 miles across, 9 miles away.
Okay, so Cheryl's telling me wrong facts. So I was right, it's 7 miles away. Excuse the jiggle while I put in a cord to the phone. So even if this goes on for hours and hours, I can leave this plugged in and you guys can see, which would be wonderful. Hopefully, it seems like the intranets is working fine. Now there's going to be some jiggles, but not as bad as outside. Also, another thing that you might end up hearing is going to sound very much like a windshield wiper if we leave this on for a long time. So there's a camera, I think, directly below or above our room that actually plays on the TV with the naturalist stuff. So when you're on a cruise, there's always a channel where you can see out front. So literally we are seeing the absolute front of the boat. And in fact, I think I can, let's see, I'm going to live dangerously. That's where everybody's gathering in the wind and the rain to see the same view that we have up here. Please stay focused. Yay! And so it's very neat. So this room is not a super fancy room either. It's actually just an ocean view room. We're on the Celebrity Solstice this time for a 7-day cruise, and we went for the very first day to Icy Strait Point, and it was amazing. Amazing. And in fact, is one of our favorite new ports in Alaska, maybe our most favorite.
I feel like it's my most favorite.
Okay, you might have to talk a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's my most favorite. And yesterday we went with Huno Whale Tours. We had this incident where I think we talked about the other day where our original whale tour was canceled, and they were really great about finding a spot for us on another, pointing us to another excursion company.
Well, they even checked to see if there was space
Yeah.
available. They did a really great job
They
of that.
did, and we ended up with.
And actually, we'll see. I think we might be seeing the Hubbard Glacier really soon, and then we might get to see it one more time too. But I thought we were turning the other way. You'll see some little boats, and so that was the excursion that got canceled for us on Hubbard on Holland. We did not take this tour because I am pissed off that it's almost 3 times as much as on any other ship. It's exactly the same boat, exactly the same people driving it. I feel like Celebrity made a big cash grab with this, and I'm not thrilled with it. But at the same time, I am in love with our room. So
yeah, it was it's a ridiculous amount of money that they are charging to ride in that little boat to get close to the glacier.
Okay, so you can't quite see it yet.
Where the mountain,
where the little mountains, it kind of bookends, and you can see the very, very light blue in kind of that. If you're looking at the bottom of the dark mountain and you look directly across, you see something that looks more icy blue, and it's a line, and it goes up. I'm going to see if, okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit.
And there go the excursion boats.
Well, that's out of their view. So the excursion boat's just loaded. But the way I look at it, oh, can you guys see a little bit more? And also, it goes on up. Let's see. And sorry for all the moving, but I'm just really trying to get it where I can get you a better bird's eye view. This is the one glacier that's still advancing. A lot of them are not. So a lot of them are now hanging glaciers. They don't touch the water anymore. But you see on where the dark mountain kind of comes down, on one of those sides, or both of them, I think one of them.
That side.
Can you say left or right, please?
On the left.
Okay. I didn't know what she was talking about either, and I'm standing there next to her. She was pointing in the middle to me. So they're actually saying that it's going to encroach and close that space so boats can't go there anymore. I'm going to turn on and see. Or did we turn this off?
I muted it.
Okay.
National Park in the United States. I'll be back in about 4 to 5 minutes.
We missed Natalie.
Okay, we'll turn off the music in about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you want to hear some talking. So this is the money shot right here. And even with me blowing it up, it looks a little bit, I'm going to see if I can move this just a little bit so you can get a little more time with the glacier. It's huge. Those mountains are so huge. And for us to get this close,
we can't even see the peak of the highest one. It's the second highest mountain in the United States.
In North America.
North America.
See, we went to our Hubbard Glacier talk yesterday like good kids. And also, Naturalist Nat, she is on Facebook as Naturalist Nat. And if you have any interest in whales or glaciers, she actually does contracts on different ships to do the talks and to narrate the Glacier Day, and she's just fantastic. So I actually, because I was looking up so many Alaska things on Facebook, it showed her to me, so I followed the ship and what they saw the week before we came on. But let's see if I can what's the limits of my going in here? I don't think that from here we're going to be able to see calving.
I think they're planning on getting us in much closer. We're not even to Disenchantment Bay yet.
Oh, we're not. Okay, so I'll stop trying to to zoom you in so much. I'll give you this much. Do you see the little dot in front of the right dark mountain? That's the like little expedition boat that's taking people close to the glacier. And that holds almost 100 people. I think 100 to 125 people. So that tiny little dot is much larger than you can tell. And it just went off our screen, of course. Do, do, do. Hello, ant boat. But one of the things I love that Naturalist Nat was saying is like, if you see bears along the side, she said, they're never going to look like bears. They're going to look like little black dots. She goes, just think of them as gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
They're little gummy bears along the sides. Because even, you guys, even with us being at this front window, a couple of feet back from where the camera is zoomed in, and it still looks tiny compared to what we're seeing. Like, that's the one thing about traveling to Alaska, is just the enormity of the nature around you, how big the mountains are, how much land is up here.
We're getting ready to get into a little bit of an ice field.
Let's see.
You guys won't be able to see that anymore.
Actually, yeah, they can if I zoom out. So those are the people at the very tip. And so do you see some of the white flecks in the medium blue water that's near the lower third, especially to the left? You can see some of those. Those are pieces from the glacier. And we're going to sail through some of those. So we are getting closer. I'm so excited.
One of the celebrity ships got really close last week.
The weather looks really good. The water looks really smooth. So I think there's a good chance, unless, so these are like bergy bits.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one called? There's something a little bigger.
Bergy bits, I think
Growlers.
Growlers are
bigger ones, right?
I think growlers are a little smaller.
Okay.
Bergy bits are bigger. That one's pretty big. All you see is the dirt sticking up, but you can see underneath there's a
Yeah. So some of the things that are black versus white in the water, you may not be able to see them so good. That's still pieces of the iceberg. That's just stuff that has silt. So the icebergs are so heavy that they move pieces and parts of the mountain and actually get minerals into the water, which is why the whales love to feed. Well, why the fish feed here, why the whales love to feed here.
Mm.
It's pretty cool. You saw some bergy bits, and that's all. I'm gonna go back into the glacier a little bit and zoom that in for you, since that's the most interesting thing.
This is also a seal breeding ground closer to the iceberg, and closer to the glacier. And so, because of the wildlife in the area and that this is one of their main breeding grounds, you cannot broadcast like they do outside on some places. You cannot broadcast in here.
So what they
outside.
mean is, you remember how when we were at doing some of the other nature lives on Holland America, that you could hear the naturalist, and that was on a speaker outside. So for this, the Hubbard Glacier, we only have inside narration of things. And speaking of that, and so it's possible we could see some seals on ice floats, because they actually come out and they breed. And the reason they stay on the icebergs is so they don't get eaten, because the orcas will come and eat them. But something about the ice messes up their navigation system.
So the orcas use like sound waves to figure out where things are, and the bergy bits and the icebergs mess up, and so they just think that they're icebergs. They don't realize that there's any seals on them. So it's a safe place for them to be.
I have a feeling we're going to get quite close because I'm seeing the next little bit seems quite clear.
Mm-hmm.
I see dark spots, but those dark spots, you can see one like in about 25% from the right or 75% from the left. There's a little black dot in the water. There's also another one. There's 3 now. So if you kind of look, it's almost like a diagonal from there, from the very top of the water. And we're just letting that one go. We're moving. How fantastic is it to be in the front of the boat? So this is, like I said, again, this is in our room. This is why you're not hearing the wind while the wind is not blowing. So I think I would be really interested in Celebrity Solstice to see if there's a longer or one from Whitaker to Vancouver or back. Because this I think this room on this ship, this is a brand new room type. And we literally have the captain's view.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
hi, Jay Rice.
It's like we're sitting in the crow's nest.
So where we are, for anyone who just joined us, we're on Hubbard Glacier. You can see it in front of us. It's about 7 miles long. It seems smaller than that. One of the mountains that is nearby is one of the largest in North America. To kind of give you some scale, you can't even see the top of the mountain in front of us because of the clouds. But we have no fog. We have actually very little rain. It's kind of magical.
She is talking. Would you like to listen?
Yeah. Here we go. And yes, the water is really smooth today. We're really, really lucky. So we're going to put the naturalist on the TV so you can hear what she's saying as well.
Yeah, and the last time we were here was just a week ago, and it was completely fogged out and had so much ice chunks that we couldn't even go in, and the waves were huge.
And we couldn't go this far. So that was the day we didn't go live.
North America. 60% of Alaska's glacial surface area, that is 17,000
if you can let us know if you can hear her.
miles of ice, is located all within this park. And speaking of glaciers, specifically within Wrangell St. Elias, can be found North America's largest tidewater glacier. That's looming ahead of us. It's called Hubbard Glacier, named after the first National Geographic founder and president, Gardiner Hubbard. The largest Piedmont glacier, that's on our left-hand side, Malaspina. The longest valley glacier, Nabesna. The park is part of the world's largest international protected area. At over 24 million acres, Wrangell St. Elias is part of a World Heritage Site that also includes 3 neighboring parks. Canada's Kluane National Park to the west, Glacier Bay National Park to the south, and the Tatsunshini-Alsek Park of British Columbia to its southwest. Needless to say, by finding your park, you found a pretty good one. Coming up next, we are currently sailing the waters of Disenchantment Bay. Now, why would anyone name this beautiful bay Disenchantment? Well, I'll be back in 4 to 5 minutes and let you know.
I wish they didn't put like the elevator music on in between. That's why we're turning it off.
Well, the good news is we'll be able to hear because they're playing her in the hallway.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a gorgeous day. It looked pretty foggy earlier this morning and it was raining. So we were a little bit nervous since we weren't so the ship last week didn't even come this close. So one thing to know, if you're on a cruise, Alaska cruise, Glacier Day, if you're doing Glacier Bay or Hubbard or any of the ones. So there's so many different places people go. You may or may not be able to see that glacier. It's all about the weather. A lot about Alaska is luck and attitude. Because safety first, right? The reason they didn't go isn't because they were like, I don't think it's nice. It was a issue.
And not too long ago, one of the ships actually hit an iceberg that was further underwater than they had expected, and they ended up having to turn around and go back to Seattle to make sure that the boat was okay and stuff. And so the captains are really, really cautious to make sure that everything goes as planned.
And hey everybody, if you just joined, we're looking at the Hubbard Glacier in front of us, and we are in something called Disenchantment Bay. And you are seeing some little icebergs and bergy bits floating in the water. Some of them will be white, some of them will be kind of silty black, and some of them, if the light hits them right and they're really compressed, that's where you get the blue color.
Setting us up a little warm beverage station.
Cheryl, we got room service. We're in our room. We have a window that looks out to the front of the boat. And so we will be turning. You can see we're turning away. And so we will probably just let this keep going, because what's going to happen is the boat at some point is going, as soon as it gets as close as it's going to get, it will turn. And I'm not sure if it's turning now or if it's just trying to find the best spot. Let's see. Get you guys back on the glacier. But we are still very much moving forward. What did you have for breakfast? Actually, we're we're eating some breakfast now. We're having some fruit.
And some cereal.
And some cereal, some tea and soy milk. We just decided to have them bring it to the room. And in fact, we're in our pajamas. So the last 2 weeks, whenever we've been broadcasting, we've been dressing up and then going out, because even if it's a warm day like it was last week, it's a little bit cooler this week. It's still not super cold, but down at the front of the boat they're bringing out hot chocolates for people. On Holland they bring out split pea soup. We didn't have any this year, but our ship last year had a vegetarian version. What's the temp outside? What is it, about 50? Cheryl will check on her phone.
It's gonna tell me in just a minute on the TV.
Oh, okay, that's right. We're watching this.
Let's see. Well, there's 82% humidity.
82% humidity. That's not helpful. And I can't look it up real quick on my phone, but I think it's around 50, or it could be colder here. Because one of the things is, as we've gone into, so you go through, basically, they're not all necessarily fjords, but some are. Like we went through College Fjord. And as you're going through that enclosed space towards the glacier, we found physically the temperature dropped quite significantly. So I'm assuming from when this started to now, the temperature has dropped quite a bit. And since we're inside today, it's hard to tell. If I could get you in.
How many minutes do you want to brew the tea?
4. 3 to 4. But it's just gorgeous. I think they're saying something.
Ah,
I
okay.
hear a man's voice.
A navigable
Oh, there's
route from North Pacific to the North Atlantic. Rumors stated that the entrance was at about 60 degrees north. So, Malaspina during that time was equipped with 2 corvettes. Corvettes are the sailing vessels, the equivalent of maybe the corvette cars we know nowadays. He sailed from Spain, was actually looking to explore a different land, so he went to Mexico, and the plan was actually to go to Hawaii. However, he received a secret missive from the government in Spain saying, sail from Acapulco directly to Yakutat, Alaska, and expect to find that Northwest Passage going from the Pacific Ocean to the North Atlantic Ocean. You know, pretty much like the Panama Canal we now know of, except up north. Now, when he reached Yakutat at the end of June 17, the expedition actually made contact with the Tlingit people who resided in the region. Extensive notes were taken on their advanced societal structures, their art, their warfare methods. And finally, a week later, July 2, 1791, Malaspina, along with 30 of his crew, left Yakutat and sailed into Yakutat Bay, expecting to sail through and come out into the Atlantic Ocean. However, when they reached Point Latouche, that narrowest point that you see behind us, that's actually where we stopped earlier today to let the guests off to go and join their shore excursions for Hubbard. That is Point Latouche. Well, when they reached that point, they were forced to stop because of the icebergs. Perhaps you can all guess what they saw towering in front of them. Well, I'm hoping you guessed Hubbard Glacier looming and blocking their way and shattering their dreams of fame and fortune. So, to represent their disappointment, they named the bay we're sailing in right now the Disenchantment Bay. Now you know. So, as I'm sure you can imagine, many changes have occurred since Malaspina's time. Mount St. Elias is now 30 feet taller. You heard that right. Mount St. Elias at 18,008 feet is now 30 feet taller compared to Malaspina's time. And Hubbard Glacier has receded and advanced again. To understand just how much the area has changed in recent history, imagine being here 500 years ago when glacial ice covered the entirety of Yakutat Bay. As I mentioned, the Tongass National Forest covers 17.2 million acres. As a glacier advances, the force of the flowing ice causes tremendous erosion and reshaping of the landscape. When it recedes, it leaves behind rocky barren earth with very little soil upon which virtually no plants can grow immediately. When I come back, I will tell you how the trees and shrubs we now around us came to be.
Okay, so you got a little bit of history. Again, what you're viewing, if you're new and just came in, is the view of the Hubbard Glacier today from the Celebrity Solstice from our room in the very front of the ship. It's kind of a fantastic day for viewing. It was rainy before we came into Disenchantment Bay. The rain seems to have stopped completely, and the fog lifted quite a while ago. And so you can see some more of the ice and icebergy bits, growlers. I think usually we don't see a lot of icebergs. I think icebergs are a certain size.
They have to be a certain height, and I think it's over 14 feet, I think. I don't think anything we're seeing here is considered an iceberg at this point. It's mostly just bergy bits. But you can tell the water is kind of changing color a little bit, and that's with the silt is mixed into the water here more, where it comes off of the glacier. Wow, it's really looking blue. That sun is really coming out. That's great.
Yeah, I see some more of you are on, which is great. So also, the ship at some point is going to do, it's still going forward, which is amazing. So we're able to get quite close today because the water's calm, the weather's good. But the ship will turn 360 at some point, so you'll get to see some of the mountains and the other parts. It's just really gorgeous. And the dark things that you might see, that you'll see some little iceberg chips, you'll see some that are white, and you'll see these dark black things. And at this point, there could be seals eventually, but at this point, those are silty bits. So like if you look close on the glacier near the left side, maybe like 25% from the left, you'll see like a dark line through it. That's the silt that we're talking about. And as we get closer, I can see if we can go in a little bit more so you guys can see. Sorry, it wiggles it when I'm doing that. Get you a little closer.
Moved your tea over.
Oh, thank you. When I booked this room, I'd really hoped that this would be an awesome thing. There were no pictures of this room, so I wasn't sure if the window was really big, if it was tiny, if it really was at the front. It should be, theoretically.
Wow, it looks like he's going to try to go in through that side over there.
It looks like we're going like ridiculously close. This is, so if you're going on Alaska cruise and you're reading reviews of like, to take the smaller boats in close are usually quite expensive. Not unreasonably so. Not necessarily like we could get an excursion to go in a helicopter on top of a glacier and have sled dogs pull us. So that's like $1,000. Typically they're around $350, but on good days, the actual ship will get almost as close, which obviously is today. Maybe not as close, but almost as close. But on a bad day, you might not even see the glacier and only see it from the small boat. again, sorry for the people who've heard this 7,000 times. Celebrity is massively overcharging for this. They're charging almost 3 times as much as any other line. And it's not their boats. They're hiring the same boats as all the other lines. So I'm thrilled that everybody's getting a good view. More so than I was sad that our Holland one got canceled. Ha. I can't believe how close we're getting.
I know.
It looks like we might have a clear view all the way up to, or a clear path. You guys aren't seeing this on the video because I've got you kind of a little bit sideways so you can keep seeing the glacier. Because once we start turning, it's going to be a while. Perhaps an hour before we actually get to look at the glacier again from this particular view. Because that's one thing too, is people are always like, well, what side of the ship should I get a room on? Because a lot of people will get balconies so they can be on their balcony. But most ships, not all, open up the front of the ship. There's any place there's a walking area, walking circle, walking track. You can view from there. Like on Holland, we were on floor 10. There were other places you could go. Almost every ship, except for Virgin, has something like an observation lounge or crow's nest, which is in the front of the ship with windows. Mm-hmm. But that is like, people get up at 4 in the morning and get their seats. And I would rather walk around than be in the chilly. But so basically we have our own private crow's nest.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The windows are almost exactly like crow's nest windows if you were sitting in front of them.
I can't believe how close we're getting. This is amazing. Because again, we're in the actual cruise ship, not a smaller ship. We did, when we were in Whittier, we took a 26 glacier cruise up through College Fjord and some other things. Ooh, turn it on, babe.
Left-hand side of Hankey Island, if you have binoculars, you probably will spot them. There are stellar sea lions hauled out and enjoying this dry weather. Now, the difference between stellar sea lions and the California sea lions that most of you are familiar with is size. Stellar sea lion males can be up to 2,500 pounds. You heard that right. Whereas California sea lions, maybe the males can reach 1,000 pounds. And for the stellar sea lions, those are just the females. Now, the juveniles could be about 200, 300, 400 pounds. So it's going to be on the left-hand side of Hankey Island. There is an exposed rock immediately just right on the water level up. You will see some sausages that are resting there, and those are stellar sea lions. Now, for birders, I know there's not very many of you, but hey, I'm a birder, and you can't escape me, since I'm the one holding the mic. Black-legged kittiwake gulls nest on this island by the thousands. You will likely see them on the crooks and crevices of the island. Now, as I mentioned before, this area is a great representation of how the land and environment around us is constantly changing. Glaciers truly are the ultimate shapers, destroyers, and renewals of life and landscape. And while visiting a place like this, you can see that happening firsthand. Alaska's glaciers and ice field are an important part of the state's geography and environment. While less than 200 square miles of glacial ice exists in the lower 48 states, there are over 29,000 square miles of glacial ice in Alaska. Glaciers make up the largest reservoir of fresh water on Earth. Can you guess how much fresh water remains frozen in ice on our planet? When I return, I'll give you the answer.
Now we're grooving. Dum, 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 dum. Elevator music.
It's interesting that she doesn't talk constantly like they do on Holland. It seemed like they talked all day and they didn't really take much breaks. Wow, we are really cruising in there. Oh my God.
I'm shocked. But we've had some of the luckiest weather. Hubbard Glacier on Holland was not lucky, but almost everything else has been fantastic. We went whale watching again yesterday, and we saw 80 million times of bubble net feeding, and we saw a whale breach too. It's been a fantastic couple of days.
That whale breach came out of nowhere. We were all just floored. Terrific group of people we had with us. It was one of the best tours that we've had. Just everybody that was on there. Let's see, 2 British families, and then an Asian family.
From a different ship. I think they were.
Yeah,
on
they were from Princess, I think.
Princess, that's right.
And just everybody was just so polite and made sure that everybody could see. And this boat that we were on, that Huna Whale Tours, their boat might be the best boat that we've ever been on for whale tours.
You know, I feel like all of the 3 that we were on, each 3 had their own unique advantages, and I would be in any one of them again. They each had, oh gosh, you're getting to see really, really close. I'm going to see if I can move this so we can get the burgy bits. No. Let's see if I do. No.
Up higher, maybe.
No, that takes it away. It's because we're on the lower window. Oh, there we go. I'm not having to worry. Oh, you guys are seeing you're seeing the burgy bits.
So to the left, that's actually a different glacier. And that glacier almost comes to meet directly the Hubbard Glacier. There in that little spot you can see in the middle.
I think from a distance, I thought it was all the same thing, but I agree. No, from a distance, I wasn't seeing the other one.
You weren't.
Until just now, because I'm like, really? I thought it was all one, but we're also at a different angle than we were when we started. Here, I'll try and zoom in a little bit.
And you can see the different colors of the water happening. You can see up near the glacier, it's a little bit more of a tan color because there's more silt in the water there.
Or to you, it might be just slightly tan because we're also going through a window. But even then, the camera doesn't make everything perfect, but you can see it. I'm also looking at both, so I'm like, oh, I wish you could see it a little bit more. But do you see all the little ice we're going through? All the burgy bits. And, you know, you could hear people yelling, yay, woohoo, down there because they're taking pictures on the front of the bow. I could show you that again later when this isn't so interesting. Like right now, I'm going to change.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see those sea lions.
It's okay. I'm just thrilled that we're really, like, I did not think I was going to be able to get this up and close and personal with the glacier here. I'm trying to also show you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
So I'm able to really zoom in because we're so close. I can zoom in better.
And you can see towards the right-hand side, there's like a little dot that's moving. Well, a little bit like an oblong shape that's moving. That's one of those tour boats. So that kind of gives you the scale of how big this glacier really is.
Because it doesn't look that big. And so what she's saying is to the right-hand side, you see kind of the mountainy thing. And then a little bit up, right under the glacier, that's where the boat is. That tour boat. But we're getting significantly closer than most people do.
Like how close we're getting, actually. I am shocked.
Well,
there's actually an iceberg right there.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you? Oh, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't think I can show it to you guys right now. But how you can tell is it's light blue and larger.
Much larger.
But also on these ships, they have like radars and sonars, so they know what's around them, which is why it's different than the Titanic, and we're safe.
Sounds like he's putting the brakes on a little bit.
Oh, here.
More fresh water.
Back to Natalie.
Frozen in ice than all the liquid fresh water on the planet. So let's talk glaciers, because one is looming right ahead of us. So how are glaciers formed? Well, glaciers form when an area accumulates more snow during the winter than it loses in the summer. And that's when glaciers actually start. So year after year, that snow builds and the weight eventually compresses the underlying layers, squeezing the air pockets out, turning it into a denser form of ice called firn, F-I-R-N. As the years pass, the ice becomes thicker and eventually begins to move as it's drawn downhill by gravity. These glaciers flow down valleys like a river of ice. It carves V-shaped valleys into U-shaped valleys. Now, Hubbard Glacier was named after the first president of the National Geographic Society, Gardiner Hubbard. It is North America's largest tidewater glacier. Remember, a tidewater glacier is a glacier that terminates in the body of salt water. It's about 76 miles or 122 kilometers long from the terminus that you see here in front of us to where it begins in Canada's tallest peak, Mount Logan, in the Yukon Territory. Now that you can see the face of Hubbard, can you guess how wide and how tall the tallest point can be at its face? If you guessed about 7 miles wide, close to 11.25 kilometers, you have very good visual estimation skills. Now, at certain points, the ice inside, further back, can be up to 1,400 feet or 426 meters thick. Now, to put that in perspective, let's say, an average floor of a building is 10 feet tall. Then, that 1,400 feet thick ice is about, 140-story building. The face you see in front of us is approximately 350 feet or 107 meters high off the water. Another 250 feet or 76 meters is below the water line. Not quite the 140-story building.
Straight ahead.
But maybe only 60 stories tall.
Sea lions on that rock.
Ever wonder why
They look like
glaciers-
little sausages.
I'm sorry. So if you can get
Beautiful
up, I'm sorry, I
blue
didn't mean to mess with
Well, let me tell you, in 4 to 5 minutes.
her. 45 minutes.
So
I need to be in charge of this. You don't hear it.
I don't. we're vibrating really bad right now, so I'm trying to hold you guys up. But if you look straight ahead, you see it looks like some dots on that rock. That is stellar sea lions that have climbed up on the rocks to hang out for the day because it's not raining. I think he's putting the brakes on or something, and so it causes a lot of vibration on the ship when that happens.
Well, this is still less bad than the wind.
And you can kind of see all the bergy bits. But yeah, there's those sea lions, little sausages laying on a rock.
Yeah. It's hard to see them even with a binocular.
Yeah.
You want to try and... Oh, you've got...
I gotta hold this.
You're manually... So I use the tripod. Cheryl's like Wild Westing it. And I am zoomed in, so you can zoom out if you need to see something else.
So, yeah. So straight ahead where I have the camera pointing, like those little brown things that you see on that rock, those are stellar sea lions.
It's interesting. I don't see any... Usually there's seals, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen any yet.
Seals yet. I think that's also... So there are some environmental protection rules, and so I think they can only go...
So far, yeah.
So if there were seals here, we would not be this close.
Let me back out a little bit, get you guys the...
And we're going straight forward again. Only
Wider
now you
view.
can see both glaciers.
I can come out some so you can... So,
Your reverie.
there
We
you
are
can
now
see both
passing
glaciers.
the left-hand side of Hankey Island. If you got binoculars, you probably don't even need binoculars because I could see it with my bare eyes. The rookery, or sorry, not the rookery, but rather the haul-out rock where there are stellar sea lions are coming up. Right now it's at the 1 o'clock mark of our ship. And we are so close you can probably hear them belch. So get your binoculars ready. And I could actually see 4 or 5 males, which I call Jabba the Hutt. And you can understand once you lay your eyes on them why I call them Jabba the Hutt.
Where did I put it?
There we go. Now I can see. They're all just hanging out there. Wow. Oh, somebody just splashed in the water. Somebody went for a swim. I cannot believe how close we're getting, y'all. This is incredible. And also straight ahead of us, you can see where there's kind of that dark area where there's no ice. That's the space between these two glaciers. So there's a glacier on the left. And then the Hubbard Glacier is the one to the right. And that's the main show for today. So I'm going to kind of turn you guys a little bit to the main show. And you can start to see the difference in the color of the water much more clearly now. You see it's kind of a light, it goes from kind of a greenish color to greenish blue color to a tan color. And that tan color is like heavy silt that has been gathered by the glacier as it comes down. And then the calving and stuff gets into the water. And a little bit over to the left, you can see the 2 tour excursion boats that are right up on the glacier. And if any calving happens, we should, if it's big calving, we should start being able to see it
So
some.
Cheryl, explain calving in case someone doesn't know.
So calving is when the glacier actually breaks off a piece and it goes into the water. And sometimes they happen right on the front face. And then sometimes if you're outside, you can hear the thunder sound and they happen further back and we don't actually get to see them.
Captain looks like he might go a little bit closer, but get up to see Turner Glacier, Hubbard Glacier at its
Turner
best.
Glacier.
We're on the tip of Hankey Island, and as Natalie said, the sea lions are off to our starboard side, parallel with the bow. If you're wondering if you should go outside, the answer is yes. Go up to deck 14, deck 15. The captain will be turning the ship, so you'll have a nice side view, and I'll update you on his maneuvering a little bit later. But congratulations, you have hit the jackpot. When you go home and play the lottery, you've been very lucky this morning. Welcome once again to Hubbard Glacier.
And now you can kind of see how far it goes off to the right there.
Well, it's 7 miles long.
Actually, it's to the right. Now it becomes very obvious. It's to the right where it's advancing to the point
Oh, that it's going to close
that
off.
it's going to close off eventually.
Yeah.
See if I can kind of show you guys that. So see where the island, Hankey Island ends, and then you see that part of the glacier right behind it. The glacier is advancing in a way that they're saying at some point that's actually going to be, the glacier will touch the island and close that passageway off.
And they think like in our lifetime.
Yeah, like it will happen in our lifetime. It's been advancing pretty quickly. And we're having a lot of shaking right now while he's putting on the brakes.
But you saw, if you were on for a while or you're watching the replay, how it looked like the tan part was such a tiny little place. We are feet. I don't know how many feet, but maybe 100 feet?
500 feet.
500 feet. It's hard for me to grasp this. But boats don't usually or ships don't usually get to come this far. Obviously the boats you can see the dots right by the glacier. And that's how close we got when we were on the 26th glacier tour to the Hubbard Glacier.
Yeah.
And we still have videos to put up about that.
Yeah. Trying to get you guys a spot, but I am kind of off a little bit. Might need to get something else.
It'll stay that way. Just don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Be careful to your right with the.
And I'm going to try to zoom you guys in a little bit more in case we see some calving or anything.
And it's possible there, and actually, naturalist Nat and her talk was like, "Here, watch! I knew where the calving was going to happen. Look!" And I'm training my camera on it, and then of course it calves somewhere else. So you don't know.
Yeah, you just never know.
I cannot believe this though. This is the lottery that we just won the glacier lottery on this cruise.
We sure did. We're being rewarded for not getting to see it at all last week.
Oh, this is so much more fantastic. This is better than we would have seen it from the small boat, because the small boat would not have been able to get that close because of the weather, because literally people were not able to load onto the boat because the water was so rough.
Oh, the water was like, we had huge swells that day. I think they were saying it was the remnants of a storm that had went through the Pacific, one of the hurricanes or something.
Story building, where the glacier meets the bay. Most of the ice is below the water line, and newly calved icebergs can shoot up quite dramatically. so that ships like us might keep their distance from the edge of the glacier here in Disenchantment Bay. Now, by the way, it takes about 400 years for ice to traverse the length of the glacier, meaning that snowflake that fell on top of Mount Logan took 400 years to arrive at the face of what you're now looking at. While looking at floating ice, remember that you're only seeing 15% of the total ice of an iceberg. Since that is glacial ice, which is very dense and heavy, about 85% is concealed below the water. If you look around a bit, you will notice that Hubbard Glacier is not the only glacier here. You see glaciers around us? Well, adjacent or to the left of Hubbard, but still within the face of Hubbard, is Valerie Glacier. It appears to be an arm of Hubbard Glacier. So, looking in front right now, on the leftmost, you see that black line, that medial moraine they call it, or as most of you will call it, tire marks. So when you see that, from that tire mark all the way to the edge is Valerie Glacier. On the left-hand side, or port side, that dirty-looking glacier is actually Turner Glacier. That one is 20 miles long and 4 miles wide. Now, sandwiched between this Turner and Valerie, we hardly see any that's left because it's retreating, is Turner Glacier, and there's also a Hankey Glacier. It is now just a dark patch to the right of Turner. Now, to the right of Hubbard, yes, there is still to the right of Hubbard, is another glacier called Variegated Glacier. Before I leave you, can you guess? Is Hubbard advancing or retreating? Well, you know, in the midst of a warming climate, do you think it receives more snow or does it receive less snow? So, this is going to be one of our last few breaks. I'll leave you 4 or 5 minutes. I'll be back and let you know.
He is going right up to that ice line, y'all.
Oh my gosh, he is. I wonder if we're going to go past it.
I don't know.
We don't see any seals, so I think usually seals are breeding here unless they're...
Yeah, I don't see any at all.
None. We haven't seen any, and then also she hasn't mentioned any. So this is, while those...
And sorry for all the vibration, but that's him slowing the ship down. He's kind of got the thrusters going in reverse, and it causes a lot of shake. You can hear it now.
Yeah. Oh, we can hear it in our ceiling.
Our ceiling is shaking.
But that's okay. This is fantastic.
And we are going right into this ice field.
And do you have it kind of close up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
And the thing that you can tell, and hopefully you guys can see some of it through the camera, is that the closer you get, the more you see the dark blue and the deep blue of, not the whole thing, but little pieces and parts. And it's glorious. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. He is going right in it.
Oh, wow. He's just making sure it's a controlled entry.
Yeah. Wow.
So when we were in the catamaran for the 26th Glacier, it was built, wasn't that a catamaran too?
Yeah, it was a specially built kind for breaking ice.
So it could break up some of the smaller, like growlers and bergy bits.
That vibration is hard on you.
Oh man.
We are like going in, y'all. We are going in.
Let's get in there so you guys can see a little more.
And hopefully the vibration will stop here in just a bit. I think I see where he's trying to go. He's trying to put us right across there in that open section, I bet.
Oh my gosh. So sometimes when you're on a cruise and it's glacier day, you may or may not even be able to see the glacier from your ship. And on that day, you will have wished you got the excursion. But so much is weather dependent. So you could get one of those fancy helicopter dog sledding on the glacier. And, you know, all those got canceled last week when we were on Holland because it's all weather dependent. And we've had some real luck on both trips.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we were in Huna, not only did we see great whale watching, we also had just this very best warm sunny day. It was glorious.
And you see there are more people gathering on the bow now. All the people in the yellow raincoats, a lot of those are ship photographers, and they're taking pictures of people.
I'll show that.
And there is an iceberg.
And the thing is you see some at the top, but it's much deeper.
Yeah.
And
that's where the problem lies, is how much is underneath there. And we still have some shake, and I do apologize.
it's no worse than the wind was, honestly.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting a better, closer view, you're getting less shake than last week.
Once he gets into position, I think he'll turn those thrusters off, and we won't have quite as much shake going on. I'll try to hold you up for a bit.
Well, I'm wondering just how close he's going to go, because he's closer than I thought he was going to go before.
Oh, yeah. I think he's...
Calves that could loosen up more, so let's hope. Maybe see a little bit more, but also we are coming to the end. The captain has exceeded my expectations this morning. He will be doing a 360. So wherever you're at, you will get a view of all the glaciers. And it's a magnificent area. So keep your eyes open. Once again, we made it past Hankey Island. And as I said, if we get to Hankey Island, it's a great day. We have surpassed it. Congratulations, everyone.
And that is the cruise director that you hear the male voice of. And it sounds like they've already seen some calving. I haven't noticed any yet. But we did find out, if you were watching our other video where we did show some calving of the Hubbard Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept pointing out that there was this rolling mud in the area where it had calved at. And we did find out in the talk that we went to the other day that was the continuing of the calving under the water that was causing that, and that it was flowing from under the glacier where it had calved. All right, the vibration is stopping.
And precipitation falls as snow. And as I mentioned, a glacier is formed by snow upon snow upon snow. And this large amount of annual snowfall actually supplies Hubbard Glacier with an excess of ice allowing the glacier to advance. In times of colder climates, like during the Little Ice Age, which was a period from the mid 13th to mid 19th century, Hubbard Glacier actually retreated because of reduced precipitation. So, while the Earth's overall atmosphere is rising, different parts of the globe experience climate change in various ways. For example, Fairbanks, Alaska is getting warmer and drier, while other places such as Yakutat might be getting wetter and cooler. Hubbard Glacier has been steadily advancing for more than 100 years. But there are also times when the glacier surges forward. Now, surging is a rapid advance of ice. This advance is so rapid, so fast, it can move hundreds of feet in a single day. In fact, because of this, the nickname for Hubbard Glacier is the Galloping Glacier. But don't worry, it's not going to happen today. During two recent surge events, one in 1986 and another in 2002, the glacier advanced to the tip of the land we see on the right-hand side. This tip marks the beginning of Russell Fjord as it connects to Disenchantment Bay. The result in both cases was the damming of Russell Fjord, making it the largest glacier-dammed lake in the world. In 1986, the water level rose 89 feet above sea level. In 2002, it rose 57 feet. And in both cases, the ice dams eventually failed after a long precipitation event released approximately 4 million cubic feet of water per second for the first 24 hours. That's 40 times the flow of Niagara Falls. Eventually, scientists expect that Hubbard Glacier will create an ice dam that won't fail in a matter of months. The lake level will rise an additional 135 feet, and the water will spill out of a low point in the mountains surrounding this fjord. This water will drain into Seatuck River, a river which flows near the village of Yakutat. And Yakutat is home to 650 people who rely heavily on the river for commercial salmon fishing, as well as its popularity as a sport fishing destination. Needless to say, this is a major concern of the people of Yakutat. Now, I'd like to say thank you for your attention and encourage you to enjoy your time here at Hubbard. Today is exceptional, not only because of the weather, but because the captain got us so close. Anyone can spit and hit the glacier. Now, I will be outside. I'll go to the bow. I'll be on the outside promenade. So if anyone has any question, you're more than welcome to come and ask me. You have found an incredible national park here at Wrangell St. Aloysius National Park and Preserve. Lastly, I know many of you went whale watching yesterday in Hoona, and many saw my favorite humpback whale named Ruffles bubble net feed. Later today at 12:15 in the theater, join me so I can show you what humpback whales do when they spend the winter in Hawaii or Mexico, including one mama giving birth to her adorable, cute, little 1,500-pound baby. This is Naturalist Nat signing off.
All right. So I'm glad you guys got to hear some history and some information from Naturalist Nat, because she really is one of the best naturalists that we've experienced so far.
And what's funny is her career has not been like as a ranger or a scientist. She's a business person who retired, who's a whale nerd and a glacier nerd and a bird nerd. And when she was asked some questions, when they were a naturalist, they were like, "Oh, you should be a naturalist." And while her stories were a little drier, though she still makes everything interesting. She's hilarious
She really is.
when she's doing her longer talks.
She's a great photographer too, and she takes pictures of animals in human,
Like emotional.
with human emotion, like looking like they have human emotions, and it's really funny.
Yeah, and she weaves that in with her stories too, which is pretty awesome.
She had one of this really judgy eagle that was like really funny. It kind of looked like that look that Kathy gives when she's like, all right now.
My librarian look.
Yeah, your librarian
My
look.
disapproving librarian look.
He is still going forward.
I know, I see that.
He is still going forward.
This is insane. In a good way. It's not insane crazy. He would not do this if it wasn't safe to do.
Right.
And you might be thinking, yeah, but these things get canceled. And just like
Quite frequently.
we weren't able to even go to where we could see the glacier at all. We had zero visibility from where we were. And they apologize and they're sorry. But it's always about the safety of the passengers. Look how close the shore excursion one is.
We're almost as close as the shore excursion one. But here's.
Well, we're not. We're closer than I want. You're not. Yeah, there you go.
There's the shore excursion boat, and we're coming right on up it.
I think we might end up being level. That's crazy. And also,
bring it out some so you can kind of see how big this whole glacier is.
Yeah, we're torn between showing you the details and showing you the massiveness. But like from where we are, oh, there's a comment.
Log Gabe says, how wonderful. See them while they still exist. Yes, absolutely.
Well, this is the only glacier that's still advancing and not retreating as well.
Yeah. And you kind of can get a better look right here of how it's advancing out away from the glacier. It has like a point where it comes out. And this is where, they're saying that at some point it's going to block in this and create a big lake. But this actually comes out to a point right there.
I'm so excited we're able to show you guys this so close.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see some calving. Every time I take it out. What a great view you have. Is that from your room?
It is. So we are staying in a new room type on Celebrity Solstice is the name of the ship. And they added some new rooms, and this is a panoramic ocean view. They have they also added some fancy pants retreat panoramic ocean views.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people because I know they paid almost $900 a person, which is wrong.
Why can't I see it?
Because what's this say? Oh, cool. Lucky y'all. Yeah,
Oh, there it is. It's kind of in the shady spot right there.
It is really, really lucky that we...
So, there's the excursion boat.
Okay, so we're not in the fancy pants room, but we have a fancy pants worthy window view. It's basically if you know celebrity ships and the new ones have infinite balconies.
She said 900 for the shore excursion. Absolutely, yes.
And the thing is most of those
per person
cost $350 per person, which is not inexpensive. That's the thing. Alaska excursions in general do cost more because of the vehicles needed to purchase to do them and things like that. Or if you're going in a helicopter with 4 of your friends, so I believe it's about $900 to $1,000 if you wanted to do a helicopter trip and then do a sled dog on top of the glacier. And while I would love to somehow get enough free onboard credit to make it half price, that maybe we would do it. But I can understand they're only taking 4 to 6 people, so they have to make up their expenses and the price for the helicopter and things like that. But for this,
Right now, those people on that.
Oh, they're
Right now, those people that are on that excursion ship that we are almost equal with and actually about to go further than are going, why did I pay $900?
the one we were going to go on in Holland was about $350, which we had decided we should just go ahead and do. I'm glad it got canceled because we didn't need to do it after the 26 glaciers. I didn't realize it was going to be so similar. But if you're looking at Alaska excursions, you're going to hear a lot of different reviews. So